Yes.
Oh
Actually,
no,
those
I've
got
been
resolved
muted.
today.
I've been muted. I've been muted the whole time. Oops.
Oh no. So I'm
Uh,
talking and they can only hear me
yeah.
and
All
make no
right, we're
sense
gonna
of
go
it.
ahead. We're gonna
Love
go
it.
ahead and get started. Professional streamer, by the way. Uh, so we're gonna take a look here. I have a page in the works.
Say they can't hear you still.
You should be able to. I see it up on the thing.
Okay. Well, I'll take
Um,
your word for it.
let's see. I have yeah. Okay, I think that was
Okay.
just the delay because the stream has
Delay.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
5 second delay or something.
No, that makes
Um,
sense.
okay, cool. Audio's on point. Um, okay, taking a
We're
look at this
pros.
today. uh, we had we have 6 matches for each league. Um, 2 I don't think happened for freeze. I think they had delays for today, and they're happening like now-ish, quote unquote. Maybe 1 already happened, but I didn't
I
have time.
believe they're all resolved, and I think they were forfeits.
Okay,
So going back to it,
I'm just gonna
we
update the whole
had.
doc.
No,
We
you're
had
good.
Krebreb versus Sableye. Sableye takes it 4-0 off of the back of a Scarf Dragapult. That was... I was wondering, because we had a little bit of setup action going on here, and I think it was a D-Dance, and then all of a sudden the Pult comes in, and I'm like, well, either this is a Scarf, or they're going to lose. And then the Dragapult
Yeah.
went first, and I was like, alrighty then. That's very cool of you.
It's been some good pull play from Sableye this season. I think it's been very effective in every match it showed up in. It nearly pulled him back from a 1-0 loss to Prince a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a really effective mon for him so far this season.
Yeah. He forfeited when it was 4-1. Yeah, there were some unfortunate misses at the end that really kind of greased it, but it I would be on full tilt too, so I don't blame him for forfeiting with the last mon. Instead of going through like the 3 or 4 turns it would have took to kill it. But that puts the Belleville Bellsprouts up at 2-1 with a pretty high differential of 8, so that's pretty impressive. Krebreb is still at 1-2, very much alive. The Toronto Machamps are here. The next match I have is Huitku versus Sticks and Stones. Huitku takes it 6-0. This is going to be one of our featured matches for the week. We'll go a little more in depth. Trick Barb is nasty. Respect the flower power. We had Upper Rog and Prince. This was a forfeit, I believe, for Upper Rog. I may be wrong.
I thought it might have been the other way around.
Oh yeah, it might have been for Prince. Oh, that got loud.
Actually, I don't think it's happened yet.
Oh, was this the one that was delayed? I have insufficient.
This one is happening today. It may not have happened yet.
Okay.
So I think that's where we're at.
We have Ardrius and King Komo'o. This was a 4-0 for King Komo'o, and this was a really good match to watch. That kind of... I think in a lot of draft leagues, there's this double-edged sword with Mew. Upper Rog, that may work. Upper Rog, Upper Pog, maybe. Yeah, Sable, we're gonna start calling him Upper Pog. But anywho, back to this King Komo'o match. I think Adrias has the Mew, and this was a really good match to kind of illustrate how tough of a mon Mew is, and that, you know, you have such a wide variety of sets in terms of what you can and can't do that it makes it really difficult to prep each week. I mean, it's difficult to prep against, but it's almost more difficult to prep for. I am always of the mind that if you have Mew on your team, make the other 5 mons first, see what you're lacking, and then go for the Mew. Because this was a case where it was a setup Mew that just got like toxic the first turn it was in, and it was like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the issue Mew runs into. Like when you're building around Mew, you really have to be like, Mew's obviously coming. You put Mew there and you leave it blank, and then you build everything else out and you say, what am I missing? And then that's what your Mew needs to be. Are you missing power? Make a setup Mew. Are you missing support? Make some kind of toxic spikes kind of Mew, or pivot, or Rocky helmet, whatever the team requires.
Yeah, you have so many options. All right. So next up we have the Adrian versus Luna Lena match. This was a 3-0 for Adrian. I thought this was a super solid match. It had some great wish passing to just kind of keep things healthy early on. While you scout out sets, you kind of see what everyone's doing, and then just solid play took it home for Adrian, and I think it's a large part of the reason why Adrian's 3-0 right now.
Yeah, and then kudos to Luna for not bringing the Jigglypuff for a third week in a row. We're seeing progress in that regard. Even though it was a loss, it was a step in the right direction, so I commend it.
Yeah, and then the last match, it hasn't happened. Black King.
No, this is a forfeit.
Yeah, this was the forfeit for.
This was the forfeit,
I think, right? Thorazek.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Thorazek's the one with the Mega Beedrill Tapu Lele core, which I finally got to try out for myself this last weekend.
Oh yeah, you did it in a speed tour, and
God, I love I love that core. So I really wanted to see it in action more in like a regular season format, because I think it's a little better addressed in a regular season format. I think it's like broken in a speed tour format.
Yeah,
but I was hoping to see some more action from him with that core. I'll have to wait till next week.
Yeah. All right, taking a look at the MVP standings right now, we have Mecha Gallade on top with a 7-0. Makes sense. Comfey 6-0
off the back of one performance.
You hate to see it, honestly. Mega Lopunny deserves to be there. Dragapult's Dragons. We're gonna get this. This is a meme we have.
There are two Mons on this top 10 that do not. There are two Mons on this list that do not belong. Everything else is a normal top 10 appearance kind of. Well, actually, I lied. Delmise as well is a little bit of a surprise.
But it's only 3 at the bottom, so with enough time, this will sort itself out. But you know, well, we're gonna go back to a Puckle meme here. You have the Fighting Dragon up at top, the Flower Dragon, the Bunny Dragon. It's all dragons.
The dragons.
The Dog Dragon. Zeraora can be his own dragon. I
the shitty dragon.
The worst dragon, Victini dragon, and Delmise dragon. But yeah, someone the worst thing is Elagos may not come for a single match the rest of the season, and it'll just finish the season 3-0.
Yeah, it's entirely plausible. Eldegoss showed up once, 1 week, picked up 3 KOs, and may never see the field again because it's a garbage mon. And you deserve to lose for bringing it, but somehow it has 3 kills.
Oh, I missed this 9 minutes ago. Queen Eileen followed. Thank you so much for the follow, Queen. Appreciate it. Okay, so that's your kill leaders for week 3. We're gonna hop into a match here. This is between Huiku and Joshua. You may have heard the results already, but we're just gonna kind of jump into it. On Joshua's side, we have the Tapu Fini, the Rotom Heat, the Melmetal, Sableye. It's just normal Sableye. It's not Mega, right?
It's not Mega.
Yeah,
I don't believe so.
Landorus and Dragonite.
Okay. And then on my side, and keep me in when you start so I can keep up with you a little easier.
Okay, yeah.
On Huiku's side, we've got the Rillaboom. We've got the Alolan Muck, which is a great mon in this format. The Bronzong, the Necrozma, the just OG Greninja, and then the scariest flower you will ever see, Comfey.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit play. I'm on normal speed right now. On go. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. So we have a lead.
Comfey comes out straight away.
Lead Comfey, and Trick Sticky Barb, and he gets an Assault Vest for his trouble. So cool, you can't trick it back, but.
Yeah, so that's something he obviously isn't going to want, so he's going to be kind of fishing for knockoffs to get rid of that Assault Vest, but the Melmetal's not happy, and he gets the knockoff pretty quickly, almost immediately.
And you can still take items without an item with Trick. Oh, that 12%.
This Melmetal just, it's just wearing down this Melmetal, which is the one thing stopping Comfey really is the Melmetal,
Yeah,
and it's just falling apart.
that 1/8
because
every turn is just
yeah, because
it's
Comfey can hit
nasty.
the field to force Melmetal on, and then Melmetal still is in a losing position for doing it. Like it's just a bad spot for Melmetal.
All right, so Comfy's back in, but 8% you can't do nothing here. Yeah, you just switch out. Who cares?
I mean, because yeah, you're just forcing it in just to make it take damage, and then it dies. It's a really great spot.
So we have a little switcheroo game here, and just he's pivoting around this bronze zone perfectly. It's such a good week for Levitate.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Bronzong is here to address two things: the Melmetal and the Landorus. Melmetal is already taken care of, so now it just needs to check the Landorus, which makes it really easy to keep healthy.
Yeah.
So you're not overextending it.
Rillaboom comes in, and yep, all it needs to do is, ooh, he actually gets the weakness policy. That's pretty big to get rid of on the
that's good to get rid of. Oh, absolutely.
So I it's just hard to see how he get, like, without the Rotom Heat. It's hard to see how he. It is Mega Sableye too, by the way.
Yeah, it is Mega Sableye, which is
wrong.
It's fine. It doesn't make it any easier for Comfey to stop Comfey. And I think we're at the point now where Melmetal's gone. Comfey's already pressed Calm Mind once. This Feeney's not going to have any answers for the Comfey.
Only a Toxic could, and even then.
Comfey stole some boots for
why not?
For fun.
Now the Nasty Plot here is kind of nice.
It is nice, but the Volt Switch from the Nasty Plot is not so nice.
No, which says, like, he only has Volt Switch and Overheat as moves.
Yeah.
So it makes it really
which is
difficult.
not an ideal spot.
No.
Oh, absolutely. And so this Comfey is just setting up and wearing things down. There's just no switch-ins. Giga Drain and Draining Kiss get everything except for the Heat or the Rotom Heat.
No haze on the Finny either.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, this
Lindsay.
team doesn't scream setup, and the things that set up are not things Feeney can take care of. Feeney can't really haze a Rillaboom.
Adrian, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, and at this point, the game's just too far gone. Like, even if you get rid of this Comfey somehow, like, everything.
You're fishing for back. Yeah, he's fishing for a crit with the Overheat is kind of where it's at. I mean, that's where this game is.
Yeah. Like
and then he over nasty plots, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, even a crit, I'm not sure. Comfey is decent enough.
Yeah, it's actually might have a 110 special defense stat or something. It might be a pretty good special defense.
But, like, fairies and special defense, go figure. And then Comfey takes it, man.
Yeah. Just a good way of addressing some of his problems. Rillaboom was a problem to his team, regardless of whether he brought Comfey or not. None of the pieces had an easy time getting through the Melmetal. So to trick the Melmetal on, like, turn 1 with Sticky Barbs, just shut it down, and then let the rest of the team have much more breathing room from it.
Yeah.
Which was huge.
And to be fair, like, anything on this team, save for the Sableye, doesn't want the Barb. And unfortunately, you can't leave a Mega Sableye in against Comfey.
Nope.
Nope. It's
which is a good way of knowing. Yeah, it's just a good mon to have Trick, because the one counter to it doesn't want to come in on it. You're not gonna send your Mega Sableye in front of a Comfey, so the Trick is super safe to click.
And I mean, the real hard part about it is, Trick Barb can just be really difficult to deal with in general. So if they have if they have like a Rotom or a Clef or anything else that gets Trick, you always have to kind of keep it in the back of your mind. But sometimes it can be really hard to kind of prep against it.
Yeah, unless you have a Mega that's in a really good spot to just kind of stop it. But this wasn't the case this week, so unfortunately he paid the price.
We're not doing every match, McDuck, but we did talk about it and how the Scarf Dragapult was Omega Pog. Let's take a look at these tiers. Actually, yeah, I kind of like this zoomed in tier list. I'm gonna switch this, make it zoomed in. Zoom. Oops. Too big. Perfect. Okay. So right now, up in the
I think you throw Hiku up to the top tier. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, I wanted to see him prove himself. It's kind of where I had him in before, like just
Yeah.
how I know off of him. So he kind of gets thrown up there. Adrian stays up here for sure. Prince didn't have a match, so it's tough to say. And
King Alpha forfeited, so you have to take him down.
yeah,
If you're forfeiting games, and I think he's played 2 games so far, maybe, and he's forfeited one of them, so it's not a very encouraging sign for him. I'd almost slap him down to B.
Yeah, I think. Oops, I'm grabbing the wrong one there. I think B for sure. Okay, so keep going through. We have here Chicago Q-Bones. They didn't play this week either, or they're going to play. I think this is the
they were the ones that were supposed to play King. Yeah, this was the forfeit. So I still think they have a great team. I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them up here. Same with Bellevue Bellsprouts. This is the Scarf Pult team. Super happy to see him up here. And then Black King is the one that has yet to play the match, the Infernape team, right?
I believe so. Hold on. Yeah, who did King Alpha replace? King Alpha replaced someone, right?
King Alpha.
Oh, they don't even have a team name yet.
Yeah.
Oh, they replaced.
Oh, they replaced the Victini team, so we got to see what they come up with yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, B's fine for that.
That's fine.
Toronto Machamps and Los Angeles Darmanitans I'm happy with in B tier. They still some bright moments. Oh, King Alpha replaced King Komodo. Okay, yeah,
that's right.
King. Yes,
King for King. I'm not huge on their changes to their team, but we'll see how they pilot it.
Yeah, they dropped the Mega Deontay, right? Or was that last week?
Yeah. Yeah, they dropped them. They dropped it last week, but I think they haven't gotten to use it yet. The new team yet.
Yeah. I'm kind of happy with this. I don't think there's any changes here either. Sticks and Stones and Unalana, they're showing some promise, but they've yet to pick up a win. So we're gonna kind of leave them here in C tier.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. We will continue on. We're gonna take a look at Bolt.
Bolt.
I'm sorry if Bolt's a little hard to read. The yellow on white's tough. Like I can read it on my screen, but my screen's real big. But okay. So, taking a look at these standings here, we had 6 more matches here. All of these actually played out on time, which was, I think, a first for us in 3 weeks of play.
Good job, guys.
Hooray! Just going down the list of our matches here. First, we had Sarcasm Incarnate of the Peronia Piloswine went up against Miles Gustavo of the Bakersfield Bearticks. Sarcasm took it. This was just a super solid play all around, and like sometimes when you play Pokemon you go back and forth, and like your openings you maybe get some hazards up, things get weak, and then you start trading down Mons, and all of a sudden you're up like 4-2, and it's like, oh okay, this is easy, I can take this. That was kind of the place here where like I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, things are going back and forth, and then I'm just not paying attention. It gets to like turn 25, and I'm like, oh, Miles has 2 Pokemon left. Like an Unfezant, I think, was like putting in some work, but it just wasn't quite enough. I'm a well-known illiterate. Sarcasm. I'm sorry.
Wait, how'd you say Peoria?
Obviously not that. I think I put an L in there. I'm pretty sure I put an L.
I just tuned out your mispronunciations at this point. It didn't even faze me.
It's so bad. Next is our featured match for Bolt this week, between Joshua and Blaze. Quick spoiler: Mega Arrow can be a very scary Pokemon.
There's a reason it's 16 points.
Yeah.
and sometimes it shows that because it has a move called Hone Claws, and when it gets to click that, it's a bad time.
Hey, all of your stabs that you can sometimes miss, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, to be fair, it does take Stone Edge up to only like a 96% accuracy move.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure Stone Edge goes to 100. Because I think 75% moves get to 100.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Stone Edge can't miss afterwards.
Oh, well. I don't know. It goes high enough, even if it doesn't, that it's not missing. Unless you need it to win.
Yeah, then it misses, of course.
Okay, this next match between Dr. Strange McDuck and Tiger VGC goes 5-0 for Dr. Strange McDuck. His Blissey was literally unkillable, and
Blissey be like that sometimes.
Yeah, nothing can be done. And we have Thor against Kets Rule the Dumb, and Jirachi clutched it out. This match looked almost over. It was like 4-2, and then Jirachi comes in, Serene Grace, some Iron Heads here, and some really nice Wish Protect plays too. It was the end game there was like amazing to watch because there was a Mega Scissor that got a knockoff, and it's like you think it can kill, but like the knockoff actually makes it so Jirachi can live further.
Jirachi's a scary piece where like if you need to make sure you keep your answer to it alive and healthy throughout the game, because Jirachi can just sit in the back and wait for things to die and then just come in and win a game. Even if it looks like it's a lost game, it can come in and just clean up.
Yeah, and this was the case here. So that was really cool to watch. Now we have my matchup against J-Caps. There was a super brain dead sacking Zapdos to what I thought was choice specs. Yeah, just leave a Zapdos in against the Kyurem, and I don't do nothing. But eventually I was able to set up some hazard spam, and that really took the wind out of the regen core sails.
Yeah, it did start to fall apart after that. He did have a really good play with the Colbur Berry counter Slowbro.
Oh yeah, that was sick.
Take care of. Yeah, that was very specific and good prep to bait out and KO it, because you got to the point where the spikes stacking was preventing the tank growth from coming in to tank it out.
Yeah.
And then that's where he got his Slowbro in and took it out. So just good play on him. That definitely made it a more competitive game than it would have been.
Yeah.
If not for that, because that opened it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And last and certainly not least is North Stream up against Argonaut. North Stream was able to take this 2-0. I'm going to say it was off the back of this. It really wasn't. It was just kind of some unrelenting pressure where he wasn't able to kill the Quillfish, but we had Explosion Quillfish in this match.
Did this prevent a Rapid Spin? I'm trying to remember what the situation was.
I think so. It may have been something like that, but it was just like... I saw it and I was like, oh my god, he did it. I forgot it even got that move, honestly.
Yeah. You set your hazards and then you just go nuts with it and try to win before they can manage it.
And when you did. So we're going to take a look at the MVP listings here. Jirachi on top. This is from our 3-0 team here, so 10-0 is not to be too unexpected.
No. Jirachi, I mean, as you've proven in the past in leagues, Jirachi's the kind of mon that can easily be an MVP throughout a season, just because it has such versatility in its sets.
Yeah. And Serene Grace is kind of a bullshit ability in my opinion.
I mean, if you can take away their steel resist, you can just easily clean up with a Scarf Jirachi. It's so brain dead that it can just win games sometimes.
Yeah.
You just press one button and win.
We also have up here Mega Metacham, which is very cool.
No surprise.
Garchomp, also very cool. And, those are three mons you kind of expect to see up here. Lunatone.
So these next two are purely up here from one performance. Both of these next two are up here from a singular game where they ran the exact same set, basically, which was Cosmic Power, Stored Power. That's why they're both here.
Mega Arrow, I'd expect that. That's after one performance. It's got 5, so look out for this mon. Roserade, sure, why not?
I don't think mostly there from. No, I think a lot of it, or at least one or two of its kills, are results of mons just coming in and dying to spikes, and that's that.
Yeah,
I know Rose had a HP kill at one point. That was helpful, but Rose isn't your firepower. It's surprising that it has the most kills, to be honest.
Yeah, on a team with, Horse or Shifu, yeah, Rose and Entei are leading the kill list. We also have Mega Mile up here and Tapu Fini, and I think there's a lot of Mons at 4 kills.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was Cosmic Power, but not stored power for the class.
Oh, okay. That's fine. The gist is there. They just clicked. They got fat and unbreakable, and then they won the aim.
All right, let's hop into this battle.
Yeah.
So this is the match here between Blaze and Joshua. Josh brought the Latios, the Clefable. This is Mega Venusaur, Melodic, Registeel, and Bouffalant. The coolest
and then we've got.
Existence.
I love Bouffalant. I've never seen it be effective, but I love Bouffalant. On the other side, we've got Mega Aerodactyl, the nice-looking Appleton, the Cinderace, the Celesteela, the Mesprit, and then the Rotom Freeze.
All right, let's get into it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll count down from 3, and then I'll go.
Perfect.
3, 2, 1, go. So we have a lead Latios against the Cinderace.
Cinderace scouts for a Scarf. Latios flees, confirming it's probably not Scarf.
So we get the switched into the switch and the double switch, and the Toxic Miss is a little unfortunate here.
Very.
It's not like the end of the world, but he doesn't immediately keep the Toxic. He gets rocks up, so that's pretty cool. If he,
I mean, I don't know what Appleton's here. I don't know what Appleton's here for. Like, it does. I don't see what Appleton's addressing on the other side. So whatever it came for didn't show up, is my guess.
Yeah, but
maybe the Milotic. Maybe.
Does it handle that? That's the only thing I can see. I don't know.
I mean, thick fat makes it so it's not getting obliterated by Ice Beam from Milotic.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We got a wild charge from the Bouffalant.
Bouffalant survives the attack, though. That's huge. That saves what could be a sweep.
Yeah, you trade the Bouffalant for the Celesteela. Deal. Dope. Alright, we get the defog off on the Rotom Freeze.
Doesn't add too much because he can just put those rocks right back.
But you need to preserve this. Like if you got a Heavy Slam, sure, but all right, you can't leave this in. This is probably a time to go.
No,
Melodic.
So this is a very clear. The crit hurts here, but you shouldn't be leaving this in. You have other ways to address this Mesprit, and you need this Registeel. There's nothing on your team that's holding off the Mega Aerodactyl.
Because Mega Aerodactyl can set up in front of a lot of these mons here, and its attack is high enough that even if it's unaware Clef, it doesn't care all that much.
No, it can just push through.
Yeah, so here it's gotten the Mega Evolve off, and it's got 1 kill. So we're going back and forth here.
Yeah, he's just kind of fishing for what I'm guessing is a window in front of Mega Venusaur, because that's a perfect window to set up because Mega Venusaur's kind of forced out.
Like what's your best move? Giga Drain? Yikes.
Yeah, Giga Drain or fish for a poison with Sludge Bomb. That's kind of where you get to.
I don't even think that's all that good because it's resisted. It doesn't do all that much
no.
Unless like you're heavily spec'd into it. Yeah, so
he's doing a really good job though of just kind of wearing things down and not creating too much of a. He's not losing anything except for this Rotom, but he's getting pieces worn down enough. Yeah, Appleton forces out the Milotic. It's unfortunate he doesn't call it. If he had hard called that and switched right into Mega Aerodactyl there, that was a cleaner window to set up.
Yeah, so
because he risks the Sludge Bomb poison here, which he doesn't have happen, which is fortunate for him.
I think he should have even kept the Venusaur in to just get an attack off, because we see how much this Scald does here, and with an attack off, the arrow would have died, and I think he could have won the match there.
Yeah, because Mega Aerodactyl is the last breaker piece he has, and so now he's just. And now with his accuracy boost, he's not missing his attacks, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
Venusaur's not taking these dual wing beats.
No, and neither will.
Because he gets because it gets the Tough Claw boost on all of these dual wing beats, so it's just doing massive amounts of damage. And Mega Arrow does it. It's the
So
kind of money you really need to preserve your answer for, which was very clearly the Registeel. Registeel with the heavy slam just kind of shuts it down. And so when Registeel took that critical hidden power, that was just kind of the beginning of the end.
right, and the thing with Appletoon too is like, yeah, it's super bulky, but like if you only have an Appletoon in a Cinderace, you can wear it down with 4 mon or like with 3 mons, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so yeah, Iris, you make that comment. And that's kind of what I was calling out on turn one. Is I don't know if he effectively noticed that or not, but he essentially scouted that with his Cinderace on turn one that wasn't a Scarf Latios because Latios fled from the Cinderace, which would imply that it wasn't feeling comfortable taking that 1v1. And so I think that was information he kind of got early on. It's not absolutely sure, but I think he could observe that the Latios fled, so it probably wasn't Scarf. So he may not have he may have called the bluff had it happened. But
yeah. That's kind of what I got to when you flee early like that. Yeah, that's really what it was. Like switching on the arrow there instead of just going for like a Giga Drain or whatever.
Yeah. You got to chip it down because.
Let's see.
Because Milotic takes an attack and survives.
The Sludge Bomb did 20%, so if you wanted to do another Sludge Bomb, it'd be a roll, but then you'd have the basically 50-50 to get the poison there after the first poison misses.
Yep. Yeah, it's essentially 50% after 2 attempts. Or a Giga Drain would do enough just to put it in Scald range. Either way, it'd be okay.
Yeah, so it's just unfortunate. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a mon you can switch out of easily because it does that.
So we're gonna hop into these tiers. Last week we only had 3 tiers because
yeah,
we'd only had 1.5 weeks worth of matches played.
All right. I'll say it outright so you don't have to. You belong in the top tier. I think if anyone watches your week 2 loss, they know in probably 95% of matches, if that match were to happen again, you would have won it. So realistically, in most universes, you'd be 3-0. I don't think anyone can hold that loss against you. I put you at the top.
You said it. You said it.
I said it, so you don't have to say it. Because I think it's pretty apparent. If anyone wants to contradict me and look at his loss in week 2, I think you will see that he would have won that 95% of the time.
Yeah. So the other one up here is I have these other logos for the Dastardly Gentleman, and
great team name, by the way.
Yeah. So I just need to update this, but I forgot about it until I loaded it up like 5 minutes before the stream.
Yeah.
But let's see. I think the other teams here, Subtoxic Slowbros need to be dropped down.
Okay. Yeah, I think we put them in B. They have a good team, but they're being
heavy.
And they're being exploited in similar ways where their region core doesn't really protect themselves that well. They don't have a lot of type coverage protection where things like ice or electric or bug. So as long as you have any Bolt Beam core is just tearing apart his regen core.
Yeah.
So he's having trouble with that, and then he is just so top heavy. It's a really predictable 6 or 7 mons you're prepping for, which I think can leave him exposed.
All right, other teams here. Dastardly Gentleman stays. The Indiana Weather Hazards. Yeah, I like this team a lot, too. I think it's fine to stay up here.
Yeah.
This is the team that has the Mega Gallade Corviknight duo with, just shit like Arcanine and Nidoking in the back and Finny. The Blissey. This is a hard team to bring down. This stupid defensive core of the Blissey Drud is, giga scary to me.
Drud is just a horrifying defensive piece.
I joke about it, but sometimes I wonder. You have all these people that are like, Dragapult's such a good Dragonmon, and it's but there's Drud. Drud's good on every team, ever.
Yeah, I learned it the hard lesson this week in another league where Drud just kind of stopped what was a winning game.
So, I'm going to leave them up. As for the Beartix team, this team right now is 2-1, I think? 1-2. And their one win came off the Lunatone. So I'm this may move around. They're in between B probably right now.
I put him in B. So the thing with the Lunatone win, it was a really neat win. And I liked the Lunatone win, but the thing was the Lunatone saved what was otherwise going to be a lost game. It wasn't a situation where he had momentum control and then he came into Lunatone to clean it up. It was he had nearly lost, and then Lunatone kind of just came out of nowhere and it saved the game. So I think he's got some scary tech, because if you bring Lunatone in week 2 and 6-0 with it, obviously you're someone to be aware of. But I think it just needs to be a little more consistent.
Yeah. I think another team for B here is probably the Hope's Peak Deoxys. This is the Joshua team that we just saw with the Mega Venusaur. It's got some cool pieces. There's just some play that kind of needs to be tightened up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Melodic Mega Venusaur is a stupid hardcore to break. So I don't think anyone's going to have an easy time playing this team, but if you slip up a couple too many times, it's breakable, and I think that's what was shown this most recent.
Yeah, the Hungry Sharpedos, after a week 1 loss, has kind of pulled it together and is showing the real offensive potency of the team. So I really like them for A. Same thing for the Peoria.
Peoria.
I can't
Peoria.
read it. It's too. I actually can't read it on my screen right now, which is like because I'm on the bad screen right now for my prep stuff, so I just can't. Read it. But the Piloswine, you know, they're looking good. I like them up here. The Sydney Scythers. This is Thor's team. So they're 1 and 2 right now. I need to just double check which team they are. Oh yeah, they're the SYD. Oh, this is the Mew team. So this team just wasn't quite able to pull it out. They had their item knocked off on the Dragon Knight, Nidoqueen. They kind of got hacked out this last week by the Jirachi, so I think they had a sound strategy. It just wasn't enough with the Jirachi. I still kind of like them up here in A, so I'm gonna leave them.
That's fine.
Like you know, sometimes you lose to Jirachi hacks, so I like it up here. The Vibin Victinis, this is Argonaut. I'm gonna probably drop them down because I think the one win they had was against every move I could possibly have missing,
not hitting, and yeah.
I also have some questions about some of their game plans. Like they have Gliscor, but Gliscor's come once. I didn't have great answers for Gliscor, so I was a little curious why it didn't come against me. And then the other match, I would just need to double check to see, like, maybe they had some great ice coverage, and then I can understand it then. But it's just
so their team is, it should be there, because so the issue with Gliscor in a league like this is obviously HP ice is really prevalent to check Gliscor, but he has so many retreats from HP ice, it's ridiculous. Like,
you have to...
Rapid Strike comes in, Weavile comes in, Scizor comes in, Rotom Wash comes in. If it's an HP user, I mean, if it's an HP user, that Alolan Muck can come in if it's an AB set and just shut it down. Because it's not going to do any damage to AB Muck. So there's a lot of ways to check what's bothering Gliscor, and so I feel like it should be more available in their game plans, more ready to go.
Right. So 2 more teams. We have the Arizona Acelgors, who are 0-3 right now, but like this team.
I think they're having a tough season.
Like I think they're just trying to find how they want to play the team, really. The pieces are all there. Like this is the Victini Mega Deontay team, so like it's scary, but like, you know, you mess up a little bit and like these mons can go down real easily. And like some of it, like the Skarm's pretty one-dimensional. Like it's a great Pokemon. I love Skarm.
Yep.
But you know, it is one-dimensional, so like you know what you're getting with it. So I'm gonna drop them down for now.
Yeah.
And
I think part of the issue, I don't know if it's been an issue in their game plans yet, is they don't have great hazard control, because Skarm doesn't want to defog really, so you're pretty much forcing Blastoise to rapid spin a lot as hazard control. Because people want to put rocks up if you have Victini, force your Victini to run heavy duty boots or eat rocks damage, and so you need to be able to check that in your game plans.
And if you don't, life gets difficult real quick. Last, certainly not least, we have the San Diego Charizards. This is the team that we just saw. I'm gonna throw it up in A for now because that was a nice and solid performance. Saw the window for the Mega Aerodactyl and just kind of took it.
Yeah.
And so it's
the thing I like about their
right now,
team.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what I like about their team is it pivots pretty well. You know, Cinderace has mobility, Primarina has mobility, Landorus has mobility, Rotom Frost and Mesprit have mobility, which is really huge for a Mega Aerodactyl team. You need momentum to feed into it because Mega Aerodactyl doesn't want to hit the field and take an attack to do so. So if you can create windows for it to just be oppressive, its 16-point value shows pretty quickly.
I'm getting reports that SD Weak Armor Scarm is broken. That sounds pretty true. It's unstoppable.
I encourage someone to bring it and try to make that work.
You know, with minus defense, it just has normal defense for any other Pokemon.
This is true. I had no courage to run that last season when I had Scarm, but maybe someone will be more courageous this season. Good luck with that, Tiger, if you try it.
Yeah. No, Iris brings up a good point. You know, sometimes, like, if you play in enough draft leagues, eventually you will lose. Like,
oh yeah,
I've started off enough seasons, like 1 and 3. You know, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you get a draft that you vibe with really well in terms of, like, it fits your play style perfectly. Other times you don't. So, like, you know, none of this is really indicative. If you look at your performance over like 5 seasons, that may be a little more indicative of your skill. But
oh yeah, no, an isolated season is only that. It's just one singular season. There's not much to take away in terms of the the quality of the player, just the quality of the player with that team that season, and that's all we're really looking at. Unless we really know that person's skill level and we're giving them maybe a little extra credence, like Wiku.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, I need to go to standings. We're gonna hop into Flare now.
Yeah.
So, this is your division.
This is my division.
So,
it's been a fun week.
Yeah, there's been some good matches going on. I think one of them was a forfeit, though, right?
It has not happened yet. As last I checked, it was not a forfeit, though.
Okay, so it still has yet to happen. It's between.
It's still yet to happen.
Okay.
That is correct. So
they are the two 0-2 teams, though. So
I thought Sid won his week 2. I could be wrong about that. Did he not?
It's saying on the dock 0-2.
Oh, then he must be 0-2. So yeah, this is really kind of a make or break game for them because 1 and 2, you're perfectly in the season. 0 and 3, it's a lot to bounce back from. So
yeah, especially
it's a lot of pressure for them going into this match. Yeah, because you basically need to finish 5 and 1 to be in a playoff position, if not 6 and 0.
Yeah.
Because I think it came down to differential last year for 5 and 4 teams. I think one missed out at 5 and 4 because of differential.
Yeah. So going through our matches, we had Queen Eileen versus Hero. This was a 2-0 for Queen Eileen. This is
it's
our
the
featured match this week, so we won't go too much into it. Hariyama, go! All right, there's your preview. Next we have, or I guess we can talk a little bit. So Queen Eileen, this puts her up to 2-0, I believe, correct? Or 2-1.
2-1, yeah. She's won every game of hers has been a 2-0 one way or the other. She lost to me 2-0 in week 1, and then she's won her last 2 games 2-0. So it's very indicative of her end game play, which we'll show in the match. She's very good at putting herself in a winning position towards the end game and executing. You know, week 1 aside, just because I had a better chance at it, but I very narrowly won that game. If you rewatch it, it was a very narrow win.
Yeah. Hero is 1 and 2, but you know, still very much in it. The next match was between Dilly and Cameron Robb. This was a 5-0 for Dilly, and you know, the Finny answer was sacked off real early. Do you remember what that was off the top of your head? Was this the Mega Manetric?
No, it wasn't the Mega Manetric. I think it might have. Oh god, I just watched this match earlier. 1 second. holding. But basically what happened, so the Feeney answer went down early, and then Feeney wasn't able to set up yet because I think it got tricked to Scarf, and then Cameron made a mental mistake and knocked off the Scarf. Yeah, and then it was just that was the end of it. Thunderous Theory went down early, and that was the really strong answer, and then Serena was also there, and so the two decent answers to it went down pretty early or got pretty fragile to the point where Feeney just kind of sets up and wins.
Our next match. Dilly's 3-0. Congratulations, they're in chat right now.
Yep.
So way to go. You're doing good. You're doing good. Cameron Robb is 2-1, so they're also doing good. Next we had Smeargle up against Sprite. Smeargle's able to take this 4-0 because G Corsola just kind of sat on the field the entire game, and there's no knockoff users, so
there's a lot of good things about Tyranitar, but Tyranitar doesn't have knockoff. So if you're able to tank a crunch, which this Galarian Corsola was able to do, and then just click Strength Sap, it's a really, really hard time dealing with the Galarian Corsola. And it showed in that match.
Dilly, I'll make you S tier.
Oh, I said it last week.
You gotta give us a donation, okay? Yeah, you gotta... we don't have donations on this channel. So there you go. All right. Moving forward, this next match is the one that hasn't happened yet. Sick versus Sid.
Yep.
Here we have Here We Stand versus P McGee. I'll let you say a few words about your own match. Since you were there.
So this was a clear issue of me overthinking my prep. I made a change last second on my Pyukumuku, and we talked afterwards, and it very, very clearly cost me the game because I decided to go for rest over recover. I got too happy-go-lucky with my tech idea, and I just didn't fully account for Garchomp, which I was aware of being an issue, and then the final Gambit on turn 1 just kind of threw me off. So he had a really interesting game plan, and he broke my Garchomp answer on turn 1, and then I didn't bring the right set, and that cost me. So good win by him. I've been saying since week 1 or 2 that he was probably the person to beat this season, and he continues to prove it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let's see. Last, certainly not least, we have Tides versus Miflo. So Tides takes this 2-0. This is the Salazzle Toxic match, right?
Yeah, it's the floor just used Protect in front of a Salazzle, which was not the play because Salazzle just subbed and started Toxic stalling, and then I think it outright KO'd, I think, 2 things, and also Toxic another thing. So it was just a really oppressive match from the Salazzle because that's what Salazzle does if it's given a window like that.
Yeah. Oh man, Salazzle's what. I really like the mons like that, and I've seen it done with things like Zydog before too, like where you're speed tanking, like you're like it's getting to set up the sub first is what's saving you, and I love to see it, honestly. Like I hate to play against it, but I do love to see it because sometimes there's just nothing you can do against it.
It was a bulky Salazzle too, so it took 2 separate U-turns and its sub didn't break. It took a U-turn from the Landorus, and then it took a U-turn from the Galarian Zapdos, and its sub was still standing. Wow. I mean, given they're like quarter effective moves, but still, it's not a bulky mon. So
it has like
to take 2 of those
100 stats in anything that's not attacking or speed.
Exactly. So it was really impressive to see the Salazzle kind of hang in there with that firepower, because if not for that Salazzle, that Galarian Zapdos probably wins that game. It was just doing so much. So it kind of saved what could have been a lost game.
So there you have it. I mean, you can see the standings here. We're going to hop into the MVP over here. And
surprise, surprise! Look who's number 1.
Garchomp! Go figure. He's up in the top in like all the leagues. But we also have like Galar Zapdos up here. That's really cool.
I think the only surprise in this league is number 9. Everything else, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Bronzong being up here. Yeah. Everything else kind of makes sense. Komodo, I like seeing up here. but there's no guarantee it stays up because sometimes like a defensive Komoa set just really runs havoc on enemy teams.
At least 4 of those KOs are from the first week where it was able to successfully Clangorous Soul. So it came on strong. It's kind of the thing with doing Clangorous Soul is after you do it, you have to assume your next 2 or 3 opponents are going to hard address that in prep, so you don't get to try that as much. But it's still a really good defensive piece, even if it's not doing that every week.
Goes on, go. Yes. We love to see it. All right, let's hop into this match. This is between Hero and Queen Eileen.
Yes.
So, all right, well, here Hero has brought the Empoleon, the Hariyama, the Shaman, the Volcanion, the Mimikyu Aidichi, and the Salamence.
Yep, and then Queen Eileen has the Nidoqueen, the Latias, the Serperior, the Galarian Moltres, the Mega Scizor, and the Clefable.
So, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. So we have an Empoleon lead up against the Latias.
Latias very content with that lead, not threatened by it at all.
Nope, just getting some real good damage up. The
Ice Beam comes in.
Switch may have just been, or the Scald turn 1 may have been fishing for a burn, or just trying to scout item sets. Maybe a switch
I think they were hard calling. I think they were hard calling a Nidoqueen switch in, which didn't happen.
So we get a little bit of a trade here. Seed Flare is a good move.
Seed Flare is a busted move if you get those drops like you are. The Hariyama comes in. Appears to be a thick, fat Hariyama because it did not care about that Ice Beam at all.
No. You love to see it. So good knockoff. Good
Clefable just gets obliterated by this. Expecting the Hariyama to leave. I guess as Queen Eileen just didn't remember it had Heavy Slam as a coverage move, and then it tanks out the Hurricane. So I'm thinking it's an AV set. AV thick fat. Seems, so
because that Hurricane did not kill, and then he gets a nice revenge with the close combat. So let's see. For Frozen and Thawed, same turn. Very cool. But alright, so the Shaman goes down. So we traded 2 for 1.
Yeah.
The Scizor is a good answer for the Mimikyu.
Yes. Yes.
Alright, good knockoff.
Nice
Good knockoff.
Wish Salamence caught me by surprise. Really good call by Queen to call the switch in, which was pretty safe to call, I think. It was a pretty free opportunity to click Earth Power.
Yeah, that was nice.
So this Volcanion's got some speed on it because the Nidoqueen outspeeds it. Yeah.
So that was a nice sub in my opinion, because if the Nidoqueen switches that, you got a free sub. So I like that a lot.
This Hariyama's still the Hariyama, even though it's going down here, it stalled an extra turn of Toxic, so it just lets the Toxic stall come in even harder on the Latias and just put it in a weird spot.
Hariyama was AV, by the way. I'm getting reports on the ground that
I figured as much. If Ice Beam is doing 9%,
he every week he DMs Iris a cool Hariyama set.
So that was a really good knockoff by Queen on the Mimikyu to take away the life orb, because
so you can survive
that made a difference. Yeah, because if you aren't thinking, you just press Bullet Punch because you go faster. You're just trying to do something, and so it was just really good heads up to click knockoff, knowing you'll live the first attack and then take away the life orb.
Yeah, that was really key. That Mimikyu could have really set up some bad things here for.
Yeah, there wasn't a good switch in. A bad, unfortunate sub by Hero here, just because Latias has no reason to do anything besides try to make sure this Volcanion's not behind a sub.
And it doesn't really matter because you're low enough.
No,
that I think 50% and below the Leaf Storm, if it hits, will kill you.
Probably. I mean, it's only like a 75. No, I mean, Superior is only like a 75 special attack. Like, a special attack is not good.
It's base 130 though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's the thing. Base 130 with stab on a neutral hit, so it comes off as a 195. So it's a strong attack, but it doesn't have a strong stat.
So I really just liked the heads up play on the Scizor.
Yeah.
That was so nice to see. I'm not sure I would have thought of that.
No, because I think you get into panic when, oh god, it's setting up,
Yeah,
I gotta break
yeah.
the disguise. And so you just kind of like, oh god, I don't want to, I gotta break the disguise because I think whatever the attack is going to KO me. So it was just really cool and collected to make sure you put yourself in a spot to take care of the Mimikyu, because the Mimikyu is very scary when it starts setting up.
Yeah. Yeah, Queen saying knock was just such a free click there no matter what. And
I mean, if
that
you know what
sounds
your
right.
calcs are, yeah, as long as you know the calcs are to survive a Shadow Claw, then you're fine. Because obviously the concern is Shadow Claw crits because it has a high crit rate, 1 in 8, and then you're not in a good spot.
Right.
But it was good to stand in there and take care of the disguise and the life orb to make sure it didn't sweep.
Yeah.
Put me down, bring me down to A.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
bring
had a
you
bad
down.
loss.
And we're gonna move
Put
Dilly up.
put Dilly up. Yeah,
I got
I said as much last week.
Yeah. So that much it feels pretty obvious here. So going through here on these other teams, the Chinchino team is probably a B tier team. This is our that's the here it is. This is the Spectre team, and so like
Yeah.
I think they drafted Spec first though. So some of these other pieces kind of don't fit as strong into it. But like, yeah, there's some nice pieces. Like the Galarian Zapdos is dope. I think it's just gonna struggle to find
So
good
it's a
matchups
good
for the horse.
It's a good pivot team. You know, you've got the Landorus plus Zapdos to pivot a lot. Zarude pivots nicely. The Rodon pivots nicely. That's the one downside to getting Galarian Slowking over like OG Slowking is you don't get that teleport access, which is really, really big. If you're trying to create windows for Spectre to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that can show where you can't create a free window to get in because it just doesn't have that pivot.
Right. Next up is the Mad Hatterines, Queen Eileen's team. This is very solidly an A tier team.
Oh yeah.
Same with the Massachusetts Monkey Masters. Cameron Robb's team's looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I think his issue came up a little bit this week. I think he has a flawed team. I think he would not argue that point either, where it has issues. I don't know what the Barraskewda is doing there, but he's just a really good pilot in general. Like you can put any team in his hand, he can be effective. It's just, I think he's operating from a worse spot than he was last season when he had that Hail Core.
But he lost to like the best team in the league.
Yeah, he lost to Dilly.
So,
I'm
not gonna hold that against him too much.
Not too much. You know, he had some brain dead knockoff plays, which is out of character for him, but I think he'll bounce back fine.
Yeah. So the other team up here, other 2-1 team is Chicago Warhawks. Their 2 wins are up against Sprite and Tides. They're either best of B or lowest of A because their 2 wins have been against lower rated teams.
Yeah.
But the team's pretty solid itself. Like it's got the Mega Gallade, the Celesteela. So I like the team. Some of the pieces feel a little strange, like the little beetle guy.
So
Sure.
My qualm with the team, and I think it's shown because Glade hasn't taken off yet in the way it could have, is the team doesn't have a lot of pivot. And so Glade has a hard time getting on the field safely. So you just end up with a lot of hard switches, which is fine because Celesteela and Zygarde can eat those up for a while. Glade and Corsola can too. So your defense is fine. It's not causing issues with the defense in terms of holding. The issue becomes getting your offense onto the field. Because what we saw in the last match was the Galarian Corsola just holding its ground. It wasn't so much him oppressing with offense, it was just his Galarian Corsola was just holding the line.
Yeah.
And then eventually he was able to get the right pieces on the field and create those opportunities. But the team doesn't give good windows to Glade to get on the field safely. And Glade, before it Mega Evolves, does not want to take a hit at all.
No.
It just has a garbage defense stat.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have the Baltimore Blastoise. This is Hero's team. This is the Necrozma team, where it's some good plays with the Hariyama. It also has the Mega Arrow, I think.
Same issue on this team. Actually, even worse off
struggles to get the Mega Arrow in, and like you have things that
no
want to sit
momentum
there and take hits, but no way to get like your good strong pieces in.
I'm looking at it now. I don't think there's a single pivot mon on the team.
No,
I don't think anything can pivot. And
so
Mega Aerodactyl gets
Aromatisse.
Yeah,
it's a
but the team
baton pass.
That's what Mega Arrow needs to be effective. Is it just needs? It's like Mega Beedrill. You just want to be able to get it on the field for free and safe, and then it just does a lot of damage because there's no good switch ends. And so the problem with Mega Arrow is it just doesn't have that window right now, and so you're asking some weird pieces to do a lot of work, like the Hariyama, which is doing a lot of work, and very impressed with the Hariyama. But I don't think the Mega Arrow has been able to be as potent as it.
Yeah, so I'm happy with them in B. Next we have the Sunsets, Solrox. This is Tide's team. This is the Mega Lopunny team. Like they got the win this week with the Salazzle, so that's pretty nice. But I want to see a little more out of the team. Like this is a 10-mon team. I'm not too convinced with their last mon, seeing as it's the Chimicho, but I'm sure someone's like, nah, this is a really great mon, here's why, and I'm just wrong.
I loved how much.
So there's some really potent pieces here. I want to see how they do going forward, but there's just been
I play them this week, so I'm looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah.
I think what I was said at one point in the season, I think I still hold true on, is a lot of the defensive pieces don't have momentum, so you force a defensive piece in to come deal with something, and then you can't pivot it out into your offense again. So it's hard to get Mega Lopunny on the field because your defensive pieces, except for Rotom, just aren't really well positioned to pivot out into Mega Lopunny. Mega Lopunny doesn't like to hard switch in.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that gets if that's something I can exploit or not in this coming matchup.
So I'm gonna make this is gonna be the fiery take of the week. I'm gonna move Sprite up. I know they're 0-3, the only 0-3 team right now, but I really like the changes they've made to their team.
Oh, that's right. They did make some changes.
Yeah, they got the Bulu now.
Huge acquisition, because this team hated ground. It despised ground attacks, and so I think that was just a really needed change.
So I really enjoy it. I even though they're 0-3, this is their chance to stage the comeback. And then going with this, they play each other, the Cobalion Cucks and the Wisconsin Wishcash. So I want to see how that match goes, but right now they're both just gonna kind of chill in C tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the loser of that match is going to need to go on a rampage if they want playoff hopes afterwards. I think that's just kind of where their season would be at. And I think the other person's at 1 and 2 is in a fine enough position where they can end up anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so do you have anything else you want to say? Because I got one little thing that I gotta say before we close this out.
No, I think I'm content. I think I will probably fall down to B after I lose to Tides this next week, so I do look forward to that. I think we play tomorrow, so that should be a fun little matchup, and then I'll be trying to rebound the rest of the season.
Okay, so the last thing I have is next week we have, assuming their schedule still works out, we have Dr. Strange McDuck coming on. He's gonna kind of be going through stuff, giving their opinion on everything. So I'm gonna say this is an opportunity that I'd like to start bringing on people from the community who are a little established. I may ask you a couple questions. You can tell me about yourself or tell me about the league, whatever you prefer. So if you want to be on this little recap stream, just shoot me a DM. We'll schedule up a time for you. But other than that, I think we're gonna keep it to Monday because a lot of matches happen on Sundays, so it's just a time.
I think that was the lesson learned after the first week, and then this week especially, because I think we were trying to do it yesterday, and it was just like everyone's got their match scheduled for 8:30 or later for some reason.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait.
So we will catch you all next week. I'm sorry, I'm getting Steam messages from someone that one of my friends who popped in chat for a second. Anywho, so we will catch you all next week. I've been Dr. Geo. With me is
P McGee.
We'll see you next week. Peace all.